Order. Okay, thank you. Senator Ledama Olekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this motion on the cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2018-2019. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion, or rather this bill, will not have come at the right time when we in the country are alive to the fact that Kenyans are concerned about the collection of taxes, specifically on the imposition of the 8% VAT tax. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a conversation that all Kenyans should be having at the moment. When we sit in this house and we talk about, first, the division of revenue bill, which then set out the amount of money that each county should be able to get, it is important for us, Mr. Speaker, sir, to be able to have a schedule that can be able to be followed effectively to ensure that counties receive their money on time. But one of my biggest problems, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I actually commend the Committee on Finance for having done a very, very good job in pointing out where there were errors in terms of typographical errors, mathematical errors in this bill, is that it is imperative that for us to be able to develop as a country, county governments receive their money when they're supposed to receive. But Mr. Speaker, sir, going through the report, which was adopted by 5 members of the committee, I am concerned that certain aspects were not there, and this has to do with the release of the 9.1 billion of the money which is supposed to be used to pay for medical equipment. Mr. Speaker, sir, it will be imperative for Treasury to be able to clarify when these funds will be released to the counties so that we do not have to come up with an amendment. I think the Constitution is very clear that when funds are being released to the county government, they should be done so without any unnecessary delay. Then here we are now, Mr. Speaker, sir. Although I support this schedule, because I want the people of Narok County to be able to receive their money on time, every year this House approves this schedule. But the question is, do counties receive their money when they're supposed to receive, Mr. Speaker, sir? If they did, we would not be having a problem of unpaid bills. I know there are the senators who spoke about this bill yesterday, including Senator Omogeni and also Senator Kibiru, raised questions regarding IFMIS. And everyone blames IFMIS for the delay in the disbursement of money. I see it completely different, Mr. Speaker, sir. I think where we have a problem and where we must be able to come and be honest and tell Kenyans is that we have one payment system where Treasury controls when the money will be released. It is embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, sir, to find that county CECs in charge of finance spend most of their time in Nairobi begging Treasury for them to release their monthly money that they're supposed to receive. So I think we have to ask ourselves a question as Kenyans. All these expenses, all these development projects, including the Big Four agenda, are they really necessary at this point? They're very good on paper, but in reality, are people getting money? Yesterday, we sat here and discussed the issue of Pumwani Hospital, where we got to give our views on what should have happened. And when I stood here, Mr. Speaker, sir, it was rather unfortunate that I only had 2 minutes. But when I went home, I thought about the whole issue of health having been devolved. Should really the county governor, should he have come out and told us that all these things have uncovered all these things? Or should he have actually gone there and fixed that problem? Or is it that he doesn't have any money? Is it that when we approve this schedule, the money is not dispensed to the county government on time for them to be able to come up with plans? So, Mr. Speaker, sir, as we sit here as this House, it is important that we not only approve this schedule, but we also come up with a mechanism of ensuring that we can be able to oversight on the funds that we release to the county governments. I mean, everything looks very good on paper. And in fact, I dare say that in Kenya today, we are continually benefiting and relying heavily on donor funds rather than the equitable share. Because those are conditional grants which are given on certain projects. Should we cut down on our expenditures? Because this debate on VAT, 8% VAT, which I really pity the president. I feel bad that we as Kenyans have got to pay more. But I also see where the president is in terms of he's got to pay these bills. He's got to pay the loans. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, as I support this, I would really like to encourage this House to start thinking more on how we are going to follow up to ensure that this county government receive their money. The PFM Act, together with the regulations, are very clear that county government must do reconciliation on a monthly basis. Should this reconciliation only be for the expenses, or should it also be for the money that they receive from the national government? We can spend a lot of time, but until the time that this Senate will be able to have its own kitty, that they can be able to follow up to ensure that the money county government receive from national government, they are receiving it on time. When they are spending the money, they are able to give the reconciliation accounts on a monthly basis. The biggest problem, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have now in the committee that I sit on, the County Public and Account Investment Committee, is that when governors appear before us, they say, we have not received the money. When we call Treasury, Treasury tells us there's really no reason as to why this county government should say they have pending bills, because we send money when they're supposed to receive money. So who is actually telling the truth here, Mr. Speaker, sir? Mr. Speaker, sir, Clause 7 of this bill, which is what I've spoken about, provides for the publishing of monthly reports by the national government on actual transfers of all allocations to county government. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm of the opinion that this clause ought to be amended also to include a reconciliation from the county government to show the money that they have received, so that we are able to know what or who is not doing their job. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the other issue, in terms of, I was quite pleased to see that there'll be a lot of money which will be dispersed out to be able to take care of the issues of agriculture, to help farmers be able to improve on their products. And I'm quite happy to note that Narok County is going to be receiving a lot of money to help improve in agriculture. Mr. Speaker, sir, the only way that we can be able to know, or rather to ascertain value for money, is if this House is able to go in and carry out an audit to ensure that whatever is sent out really benefits the farmers. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, with those few remarks, I support the committee report fully, and I hope that the amendments which have been proposed by the committee, which has done a very, very good job, will be put in place, especially on this issue of the 9.1 billion, which is supposed to be released to counties to take care of the issues of health. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support.
Very well, thank you. Senator Mithika Linturi.